are you doing, Melanie? So happy that you're here. Let me invite you up really quick. Hello, Fiona. Welcome to Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace. Hello, Deanna. Thank you so much for being here. Melanie, how are you doing?
I am doing great. I'm very, very tired, and I set my alarm to wake up to speak to you. But I'm tired, but in a very good way, because I was
Oh, it's like,
productive and I feel validated, for what I'm doing now. And I'm just surrounded by people who are just kind and supported, and I feel very grateful. Um, I feel like, riding out this wave of darkness really led to something, great. And I'm so appreciative to you because in the short amount of time that I've known you, you have really made me see things in a different perspective. And I'm not quite sure if, like, for you and, about Noble Ron, that I would really be here.
Mhm.
So I'm just so grateful to you. And I just wanted to tell you that because I'm in a good place right now. Besides exhaustion, I'm in an awesome place and I'm just very grateful.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Melanie. Your words just touch my heart, and it makes me so happy to know that you're exhausted, but it's the good kind of tired, right? It's the one that comes from doing the things that we love and, staying up late because we have our minds on a project or creativity, and it's like the good kind of tired. It's not like, I'm sick and tired of everything. It's like, oh, I'm tired, but I love what I do. And I know that this past few weeks in your new job have been so rewarding for you and the children that you help. So I'm so happy that you're here and honored that you would wake up just to speak with me. Oh my gosh, you make my day. And I missed you today, so I'm happy that you're here.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's really really nice. I want to if I can, I really want to share something quickly. Children are much wiser than a lot of people give them credit for. But this resonated with me. We made a classroom conduct where the children had to vote on three things they want to feel while they're in school. And safety was number one. Um, and number two was they wanted to feel included. And that really resonated with me because, I just feel that one universal truth is that everybody wants to feel like they matter, even in second grade. You know what I mean? Like, and, to feel included could be something as simple as saying good morning to someone, you know what I mean? Or just referring to them by their name. It's nice to hear your name spoken. And I just really feel that, that's just an innate desire that we all have. I know I have it, and I was just surprised that it came in as number two on the code of conduct for school.
Oh, that what a gift, right? That's amazing. And you're absolutely right. Some of the major issues or major roadblocks that we encounter as adults really stem from childhood instances that I feel like could have been prevented. And so the fact that some of the children in our present time have people like you or like Donika. I'm not sure if you've ever spoken with her, but she's a middle school teacher who teaches her children about breath work and about mindfulness. And when was that ever a topic of conversation when we were growing up, right? And so it's these types of teachers that really make a difference for the future and that give me hope as well because I have a toddler and sometimes I think about school nowadays and it's like, "Oh my gosh, I should probably just, homeschool him." But it's teachers like you that give us hope. So thank you. Thank you for everything that you do and for all of your efforts because they really do count.
And thank you. Thank you for everything.
Of course, you're very welcome. All right, so stick around. Let's talk about this. I'm going to go ahead and just mute you really quick so that I can say hello to everyone. Hello, Anna and Fiona. Welcome. Welcome to Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace. It is another beautiful moon day. That's what Monday means, in case you didn't know. Every single day of the week has a planetary correspondence that you may not have known about. Hello, Frankie J. Welcome. And so today, thank you. Thank you for being here. This show on Mondays tends to be very much a conversation about what we want to do on our week, what we're trying to create, what we want to look forward to, what we are hoping to accomplish. And it's really, the reason why this conversation happens on Monday is because I don't work during the weekends. I try very, very hard not to work during the weekends. And I encourage everyone to try and do the same. And I get it. Some people do have a shift or two that they do during the weekend. However, those types of industries tend to be the type of work that you can just leave work at work and then go home and do whatever you want. So there's a different mindset that takes place. But when it comes to being a full-time content creator or a full-time business owner or a full-time entrepreneur, I really encourage, myself, my family, and especially my clients and you all to take a very, very intentional break during the weekends so that you can come at your week fresh every single Monday. Hello, really. Welcome to Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace. And so every Monday, we gather to finish our day. As you know, it is already past 10 p.m. for us in the East Coast. It's already Tuesday for those of you tuning in from Australia, my beautiful Australian audience. And then it's, of course, 7 p.m. for those in the Pacific Standard Time. So we are finishing our Monday, our Moon Day. And the point is to gather our thoughts and focus about the rest of the week so that we can do it intentionally, so that we can bring the best of ourselves for the rest of the week. The mood that you have on Monday ripples throughout. If you continue to show up, and here speaking about my Australian beautiful audience, here comes Melem. Happy Tuesday to you, Melem. With keeping in mind, yes, keeping in mind that what you bring to Monday just really resonates throughout your week. So we meet every Monday, or as I call it, Moon Day. And then we also meet in the new moon and the full moon for a deeper experience where we journal live and we paint like this. I painted that on a moon ritual experience. And what I journaled is under there. Nobody knows what that is. It's just between me and spirit. And that's part of the fun, right? Like nobody knows what I am hoping for. Nobody knows the dreams that I am trying to bring to the table, the blessings that I am calling in. And I don't know if you ever had one of those diaries with a lock on it, or if you've ever been a fan of, seeking treasure, buried treasure at the beach or something like that. But I've always been fascinated with that kind of thing. The dark side of the moon that nobody can see, right? Isn't it so fascinating? The secret. And so these are some of the little things that entertain me, if you will. And so when we talk about a ritual experience in my show, it's just a very wholesome community gathering where we focus our intention on communicating with each other what we are trying to really, call in, the blessings that we want to manifest, if you will. I just don't call them that. I just call them blessings. But the seeds that we want to plant and then see them grow, we focus on journaling them and then we paint over them something nice that you can, I don't know, gift to a child or put on your fridge and see it and then think about all the dreams that you want to bring to life. And so that's what this show is about. And it's Monday, the 12th of September, between the Queen's passing, may she rest in peace, and then the full moon in the weekend, and then 9/11 yesterday. The whole end of last week with the weekend was very emotionally packed. I feel like, especially if you're a highly sensitive empath and you're watching the news, you're watching all of these things happening, you may feel really tired. You may feel really emotionally drained, and you may feel kind of hungover from it all just because all of these things have an emotional impact on you, whether you believe it or not, whether you even thought about it or not. And so if you woke up today and as opposed to other Mondays, you may have thought, oh my gosh, what a drag. And maybe that doesn't happen often for you. Know that it's okay. And know that it's not so much something to blame yourself for or something to judge yourself for, but just take it in stride. And it's okay. It was a heavy weekend to begin with. So let's just throw that out there so that you can start to put things together. I love making those connections that it's like, oh, it's not me, right? Oh, and Mercury is in retrograde. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's another thing that we've discussed, and I'm sure you've heard about it before. But for those of you, also those of you watching on YouTube, welcome and hello. Mercury retrograde, you know, that planet, Mercury, as every planet has something to do with us psychologically that we can dive into at some other time. But Mercury is the planet that rules communication, which means when it's in retrograde, you have to think about the opposite of that. So miscommunication, essentially. And that means that if you've never been hard on yourself, you may be hard on yourself while Mercury is in retrograde. You know, if you've never struggled with negative self-talk, you might just struggled with negative self-talk when Mercury is in retrograde. If you never have arguments with your spouse, you might just have little snappy arguments and moody attitudes that come out of nowhere while this planet is in retrograde. So these are some of the things I like to bring up so that there's clarity in your daily experiences, so that you understand that there's no need to panic. Don't panic. That's a real lesson I learned from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Do not panic. And number two, that sometimes it's really not you and your inability to express your emotions or your inability to really try as hard as you may for things. You know, sometimes there's a bigger piece of the puzzle, and I like to bring awareness to these things. And hello, Cris Guadarrama, welcome. And so, you know, it's Moon Day. What are we trying to bring into this week? What are your intentions? What will move the wheel forward so that you can start getting those plans moving along? It's already mid-September. What? Can you believe it? It's just time goes by so fast. And this is also why it's very important to strategize and to not look at our week and be like, whoa, how am I going to get all of this done? And then you don't do anything because you're overwhelmed. And I totally get that as well. We have all been there. I'm working on a deadline, and you know, the deadline gets me motivated, but at the same time, it's really nerve-wracking to have a deadline, right? The only comfort I find in my own deadlines is that I don't have a boss setting the deadlines. It's just me. I set the deadline for myself. And so if I have to put some self-compassion to play and just, you know, employ that mindset and say, I need another week, then I just do that. I've done it before. But at the same time, the original deadline is always motivating. Yes, thank you, Frankie. And hello, Charlotte. And so this is what we're talking about today. If you go to my bio and you check my link tree, you're going to be able to join the Hope Enthusiast Club weekly newsletter, and it comes out every Monday. The Hope Enthusiast Club is my community. Essentially, you are all hope enthusiasts because you're here looking at the future, thinking about your week, and bringing a lot of hope to the table because you want to do good, because you want to create, because you want to make an impact, and most importantly, importantly, because you want to be well and be happy and have an impact on those around you. So you're all hope enthusiasts. Welcome. Welcome to the community. And so in the link in my bio, you can join the newsletter. And what we discussed today in the newsletter, and by we, I mean you and me, the people that read the blog, which is exclusively on the newsletter, is the art of reverse engineering for a goal. So I wonder, and you can clap if you've ever thought about this. I see some hearts, so I'm guessing that you've seen this before. And I never thought about it before, but as it turns out, I have been reverse engineering my goals since I was 7 years old. And to think about that, to put those two things together was very impactful. So let me tell you a little bit about the history of me and doing this since I was 7. When I was 7 years old, in the tiny island of Puerto Rico, nobody in my family spoke English. And I suddenly got obsessed with the English language and decided I was going to learn it and decided that I was just going to do whatever it took. And I would imagine that I was having conversations in English and I would pretend that I was being interviewed all the time. I'm talking while I was, during bath time by myself, unsupervised. I would pretend that I was in an interview outside. I would pretend that I was being interviewed. You might argue that I had imaginary friends, but no, not really. I was always just in an interview. That's what I was pretending. And in the English language, which at 7 year old, I did not speak it, so I must have been babbling, right? That's all I was doing. In my heart, I was speaking the language, but in reality, I was just babbling it, right? And then by the time I was 9, I really committed to learn the language. And then you fast forward 30 years and here we are. And I get to have conversations in English every single day of my life. And so that's such a blessing for me, such a dream come true. But in reality, I thought about this moment, in some aspect of it, the whole interaction and exchange in the English language when I was 7, and decided to backtrack my steps and figure out, well, how can I get there? I already saw the end goal. I am sitting on a table with a microphone, with an audience. Someone is asking me questions and I'm sharing about my life, right? That was really the vision. I can see it so clearly. Me pretending to be shaving my legs at 7 years old because I had an older sister, so I was looking at these things, right? And just babbling the whole time. Oh my gosh, I was such a weird little kid. Bless her heart. But, I was able to reverse engineer that goal and say, well, what's the first thing I need to do? Well, first I need to learn the language. So get me all the movies, get me all the books. I need a tutor. I want a tutor. How can we get that? How do I put the closed captions on the TV? Mom, please show me how to do this. And I did that for every single thing I watched on the TV because I instinctively knew that if I read it and heard it at the same time, it would help me in my learning. And so I just did it. And by the time I was in high school, I had already read, without understanding much, a lot of Shakespeare. Don't ask why. I just really loved it. And by the time I had my senior, my college applications in front of me, I was like, well, I'm obviously going to be an English major because this is part of my goal and I'm not going to stop until I get there. And you fast forward 30 years and boom, there it is, right? And I'm finally able to live my dream. And all of that to say that some of the things that we may want to create and, reverse engineer or just work towards, or goals that we want to set, don't really come true, manifest, or just happen whenever we feel like it. And that's also part of the problem. And I'm going to go into that, why it's a problem. It's in divine timing, if you want to call it that, or in the Lord's timing, however you want to describe it. Now, let's talk about why some of us struggle with this divine timing. I've also spoken about this in many an interview, and it has to do with the fact that Our lives, because of the internet, they just move at such a fast pace. We not only live in the era of evolution with all of this technology, right? But we also live in the era of immediacy. We no longer have to wait for a picture to be developed. We no longer even have to wait for an album to be dropped to then go to the store to buy it. It's literally dropped into Amazon from one day to the next, and it's already there, and you can play it and listen to it, right? And so we are not used as a culture, as a generation. We're not used to waiting. And how that affects us in our goal achieving day to day goal setting plans is that if I have to wait, I'm just not going to do it. And so I'm curious, how many things in your life right now are you looking at that you're going, this is just going to take too long? I shouldn't even bother. How many times have you said that in the past? Let's just say in the past year, right? I'm really concerned about this year because I just take things, 1 year at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 week at a time, right? I love breaking everything into those chunks that just make everything so much easier. And so, how many times have you looked at something and said, I'm just not going to bother because I don't have time for that? Or because this is just too complicated and I'll just do this instead. Instant gratification. That's the name of the game for some of us, right? You take a picture and it's either already on the phone or it's already developed in one of those, Fujifilm cameras that I love so much. And I have those pictures like all over the place, right? And so, how detrimental is that to our goals? How detrimental is that to our relationship with divine timing and the gifts that are already there, prepared for you to access them, for you to tap into them, for you to get them, but you're just in a hurry. And the problem with being in a hurry is that you see everything foggy or blurry, right? Like when we're in a car and you're just going. The only thing that you see that is not blurry is the path in front of you. Everything else that's passing you by next to you, it's all blurry. You can't really focus on it, right? Unless you're going 15 miles an hour, but that's not the point. The point is that we're in a hurry. And so you don't see the blessings that are there for you to tap into. And you may not manifest some of the dreams that you want to bring to life because you're too concerned with instant gratification and with just not waiting for things. So I want you to ponder that this week. And at the same time, consider, what do I want to create and bring to life this week or in the near future, right? It's almost the last quarter of the year. If you're a business owner, you're probably considering budgets or employee payments or bonuses, or you may even be considering, what's the word? Like an actual monetary goal that you have for your business and whatnot. And you're going to start thinking about those real deadlines, in the near future because it's the third quarter. So, how are you not in a hurry? How are you taking your time? I want you to come up if you're listening. Anybody else that's in the audience, you can come up. Melanie, I'm not sure if you would like to share one of the things that you're looking forward to this week, but this week may be big for some of us, or maybe not. Maybe you have a deadline that is later on. My deadline is Black Friday. I'm not going to say what the project is, but some of my close friends and audience members like Mel M already know what it is about. Yay. And so that deadline is approaching. T minus 74 days. Who's counting? And the plan and the strategy is to look at the final product, or to try to imagine it, or to try to envision it. And I'm going to walk you through a meditation about this in a few minutes. And then to think, okay, what's the next step for me to bring it to life? Well, the phase number one, I call it phases, right? So phase number one was, give me some loose leaf paper and I'm just going to start sketching what this is going to look like with just a random pen. And so phase one is complete. Now phase number two is research. So I need to make time, add time on my agenda. Aside from content creation, aside from coaching, aside from the appearances that I make here and there in Twitter spaces or other apps, I need to add research to my agenda if I want this goal to come true. Right, but the key to reverse engineering is that I already saw it in my head. I see it so clearly. Well, not so clearly, like I still don't know what the cover looks like, I still don't know how much it weighs, I still don't know so many other things, but at the same time it's like so close yet so far away, right? And I don't think I'm the only one that thinks this way. I'm certain that I'm not, right? But that's part of the beauty as well, is that I'm encouraging all of you to think about things in the way that I do, because they've worked for me before, and this is part of, the beauty of this process and of the coaching process as well, is that not only do I put into experimentation my client's own perspective, but sometimes my client will try it my way because it's already worked for me. So why not, right? And so that's how I reverse engineer. How does that sound for all of you? You can go ahead and give me some claps if that sounds great. I'm going to go ahead and clap for all of you. Yes, thank you. And thank you so much, Melem.
Unmute. I see it.
There you go.
Oh,
And
hi.
hello, Lily. Welcome. Go ahead, Melanie.
Hi, I just wanted to comment on a couple things you said. First of all, I find it incredible that at like 7 years old, you were you knew that you wanted to learn the English language and all the ways in which you employed and utilized to learn the English language. And I'm also very impressed that at a young age, it's almost like Disney's theory, with their imagination engineers. Like if you can imagine it, you can become it. And I think at a very young, first of all, it's known like in psychology that by 7 years old, it's established what you want to be. And I always wanted to be like a nurturer. So like I played with dolls and, I had a chalkboard and I had a pretend class and all that kind of stuff. But I really wanted to resonate on what you said about like the weekends and really relaxing, because I feel like the motto is like play hard, I mean work hard and play hard. Yet at my stage of the game, I'm like work hard and rest hard. And on the weekends, I do believe that mindful activities regenerate me. And actually this weekend 9/11 was very emotional and it provoked me to start journaling, which now I love. And I also got from Amazon, it's an adult like paint by number. It's like a really cool picture, because I believe that mindful activities will kind of turn off the thoughts in my head and just make me very mindful. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and you know what? In school, it's interesting that I mean, every day the children they put on really relaxing music, and the children color in mandalas, and they practice breathing. So mindfulness is something that is incorporated in the schools, and I just feel like my goal this week is just to be more of a passive learner. I mean, I believe that I can learn as much from children as I can learn from adults. And that is my goal, is to, children let you see things from a fresh new perspective that you've never thought before. So that is my goal. And I'm also and I also have to say, I always believe that, the internet created instant gratification, and for some things it was good, but it took away the process, and I miss the process. So like during the weekend, I got out an actual book. I didn't just download a book, in 2 minutes and read it. It was nice to turn the pages. I feel like, it has literally affected our lives, like even with relationships and stuff like that.
That's so
We believe that, if we can order something on Amazon, it can be here 2 days later, then we can fix a problem in a relationship that quickly. And that's not how it works. And I really do miss the process of doing things. And this week I'm working towards getting my certification in behavior analysis. And I looked at all the modules and I'm really excited to be part of a process again. I miss that. You know what I mean? I really do. So I really understand everything you're saying.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Thank you so much, Melanie. And we're so excited for you. What a beautiful thing to share. Thank you, Lily, for clapping for her. And Chris, welcome. It's so beautiful because, first of all, congratulations on your certification. It's only going to make you a better facilitator for those children. Second of all, already looking at your work with the mindset of I'm learning from these children is already 100% mindful, because it means that you're not there in a prideful, mindset. You're there with an open mind to just learn from every single encounter. And this is essential in the spiritual journey as well. So I want to congratulate you for that. And then you add to that the fact that you are excited to be part of a process. And this is something that's really important. And thank you for bringing this up. Sometimes I feel like, and I encounter this in my clients a lot, it's not just children that thrive in routines. When I was a fourth grade teacher, I used to teach in the fourth grade classroom in Texas, and I did not enjoy it. So I didn't do it for long. And I quickly knew that teaching in a classroom was just not my thing. I commend those that do it. It's just not what I'm interested in. But I did do it for a time, right? And what I realized is that I hear a lot of like, oh, children thrive in routines. You need to have the same routine every day. You're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this, and it's the same day every day. Well, it's not just children that thrive in routines. Adults do as well. If anything, because we've been in the same routine for 12 years while we were in school. And then they throw us, or they don't throw us. Okay, hang on. I believe that life doesn't throw things. You just really get handed gifts from the universe or from God, however you want to call it, right? So you graduate high school and you are released into the world as an adult, and all routines go out the window. And all of a sudden it's like a horse race. Good luck. You're an adult. Go figure out your college life and figure out your routine. But you were thriving for 12 years before that in a very specific pattern of behavior, going from one class to the next, always seeing the same teachers. Maybe you may even have seen the same substitute teacher every time that a teacher was missing. I was a substitute teacher once, and I used to sub for the same teachers all the time. So I established a relationship with those students. Every time the teacher needed a day off, they would call me for the same classroom, right? So you start building these relationships and building all of these habits, and all of a sudden you become an adult, and it's like crickets. What do I do? Or most importantly, why am I struggling? And we don't make the connection that part of the reason why you may be struggling is, well, how are your routines? Are they even in place? Are you being consistent with the efforts that you're putting in place so that you can move the wheel of life along and so that you can get things done? And it's not necessarily about the mindset of more, 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 do more, do more, do more. It's about the mindset of live, have a good life, be productive in what you want to be productive. Be mindful of your rest when you need to rest so that you can create what you want to create, right? Adulting is hard. It's a lot to do, right? It's like, oh, I'm going to take a break, but I have to go and weed eat or, pull weeds in the garden. Well, that's an activity that may be under the sun in 90-degree weather. Like, nobody wants to do that in 90-degree weather in the humidity of Florida. I don't want to be weed eating, right? But do I establish a routine of doing this, I don't know, once a week on the same day at the same time because it suits my schedule and the plants needed? If I want a beautiful garden, I need to tend to it. If I want a productive life, then I need to tend to the product. And if I want to create, whether that's a show, content creation, a business, a brand, then I need to nurture my creation that it's like so far away in the distance, in the horizon. I need to nurture it. Today, what can I do to get myself one step closer to my goal? This is one of the questions in my Habits of Hope journal. What can I do today to get myself one step closer? As I mentioned earlier, one of the things I'm doing now for phase 2 of my project is research. And so when we are done here, I still have 2 hours before my bedtime. So you bet I'm going to sit down to do some research, because that's the one thing I can do today to get myself closer to my goal, which is still 74 days away, according to the deadline that I set, that, nobody is uh, stressing me about it, but that's just the deadline that I wanted to set for myself, right? So these are all the things that I like to bring up so that you can all think about your life and think about what you're doing, so that you can all create and do what you want to do. That's what this show is about. And I want to thank Really for sharing this show with the world. I appreciate that. And for everyone watching on YouTube or on the desktop version of Fireside, I know that if you're on the desktop, you may not necessarily be a member of the audience right now, but I want to thank you. And also, Melanie said something that reminded me of Christian in the audience, and he says in Spanish, right? But I'll say it in English. If you can believe it, you can create it. Right? I hope I said it right, Christian. If not, you're going to have to come up and say it. But in Spanish, I think is, si puedes creerlo, puedes crearlo. If you can believe it, you can create it, because it's really about, what do you want to create? Can you see it? Can you really envision it? Think about the feeling of already reaching that goal. Melanie, how does it feel to get that certification? How many doors is that certification going to open? Once you get that certification, what does that mean for you professionally? What could that mean for you in the classroom? What kind of authority is that certification going to grant you in your school environment amongst your peers? Thinking about what getting that certification is going to do for your life will only bring you one step closer to doing it, to actually putting the effort, because it's like it's already there. One of my favorite words in the Bible, and as you all know, I don't get very religious or doctrinal or just any of that in the show, because I'm very consistent with want it to be inclusive, and I want this show to be for everyone. So I try very hard to speak everyone's language here. But let me just say, one of my favorite words in the Bible is the word prepared. In all of the definitions of the Bible, whether it's in Spanish or in English or whatnot, the word prepared is always in the past tense. What does that mean? It means all the blessings are already there. Everything's already been created. There's nothing new under the sun. I'm sure you've heard that one as well. So that means that it's already there for you. All you have to do is do something today and do something tomorrow and do something the next day to bring you one step closer to it until you get there. And it may honestly take 30 years. I've already been through that. So I'm here to tell you to not lose faith, to not lose hope, and to just keep at it every single day, a little bit at a time, and you'll make strides, right? And so thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace. That's what this show is about. It's on moon days. And it's about the magic of putting all of these intentions together, the magic of community building, the magic of tapping into our own collective energy for a single goal, which right now we're going to focus our intention on Melanie and her certification. And we're going to focus our intention on all of us having a fantastic week, because it already is. It already is a fantastic week. It was the moment you woke up this morning. So thank you for being here. And as you know, music for this meditation is brought to you by Brain FM. You can try a free trial of Brain FM on the link in my bio here. We're going to go to meditate, we're going to go to unguided, and we're going to change this genre to atmospherics, and it will be wonderful. So go ahead and relax. If you're sitting down, just get comfortable, both feet on the ground, and if you're laying down, it's even better. So Melanie, this might be your chance to just relax and drift into sleep. Focus your attention on your normal breathing. Nice and slow. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. And with me, you're going to take a deep breath in, nice and slow. Deep, deep, deep. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it go. Nice and slow. No hurries. Breathe all the way out. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe in again. Deep breath in, nice and slow. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it go. And as you let it go, with your mind's eye, and with all of the love in your heart, I want you to imagine what your final goal actually looks like. If it's a certificate, I want you to see it on the wall. Maybe it's some home improvements, a renovation. Maybe it's some piece of content that you want to bring to life. Or is it a product, a physical object that you can touch and feel and weigh? How does it feel to see your dream brought to life? Does your heart fill with gladness? Do you smile because you feel so blessed to have made it that far? With me, you're going to take a deep breath in, deep, deep, deep. Just fill those lungs nice and slow. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it go. And as you let it go, ponder the blessing of another beautiful week. One where you're able to tap into all of these resources, all of this technology, all of these collaborative relationships that really propel you to do what you want to do. Such an amazing week. So many things to do, and all the time in the world to do them one by one. Bring your awareness to your hand. Place your hand on your heart. And as you breathe nice and slow, just think to yourself, just remember, I am so loved. I am creative. My visions come to life with ease. My beautiful projects bring me joy and allow me to connect with my community. I am so blessed on this day to be able to get one step closer to my goal. With me, you're going to take one last breath in, deep, 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 nice and slow. Just fill those lungs. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it go, nice and slow. Just slow breath out all the way to the end. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe in again. Deep breath in, deep, 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 all the way to the top. Hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it go. And as you let go of all the insecurity getting in your way, all the limiting beliefs, all the naysayers, all of the negativity standing in your way. Release and make room for hope, creativity, and your motive into action or motivation. Slowly bring your awareness to your toes and to your hands. Open your eyes. Come back to me. Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you so much for joining. I hope that you all have a fantastic week and that this meditation allows you to really ponder all of the things that you want to create and the impact that you want to have in the world and in your community. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Melanie, thank you for all the amazing things that you share. I feel so proud that you are one of the members of our community and that you are so willing to share about your journey, whatever it is that you're feeling, because you see the value in sharing and in understanding that some of us are really here for you. So thank you again, and I hope that you have a wonderful week. Thank you, Brian, for joining us. Really, it's the first time I see you here. I cannot wait to connect with you and to speak with you. Charlotte, Julie, Tammy, Deanna, Fiona, Christian, Lily, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. And if you don't, please reach out. If you're struggling, if you feel like you are blocked, I am here to help. As an ICF certified coach, we can have these conversations in complete confidentiality. And I'm here to help you. So you can book a call with me in the link in my bio. If you appreciate, well, not if you appreciate that, I didn't mean it like that. I meant if you would like to buy me a tea, you can do so in the link of my bio as well. And I will see you next week. And as you know, next week we're going to see each other twice. We're going to see each other on Monday, and then we're going to come back for the new moon. Yes, for the new moon. So thank you. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening and an amazing week. I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.